In 2024, Lil Durk was one of the biggest rappers in America. He had a Grammy, platinum records, millions of fans, collaborations with some of the biggest artists in the world. Then federal agents arrested him. And now, almost 2 years later, the case against Durk has become much bigger and much stranger than it looked when the first headlines appeared. Federal prosecutors accuse Durk, whose real name is Durk Banks, of participating in a murder-for-hire conspiracy targeting rapper Quando Rondo. Durk has pleaded not guilty, but with his trial approaching, we're finally beginning to see what both sides have actually been fighting over behind closed courtroom doors. Tens of thousands of pages of material, hundreds of gigabytes of digital evidence, witness statements, surveillance, messages, music videos, and potentially dozens of witnesses. There's even been a fight over whether prosecutors can show jurors one of Durk's own music videos. And just days before trial, the judge made a major decision. The video can come in. So how did a rap feud involving King Von and Quando Rondo turn into a federal prosecution of one of Chicago's biggest artists? And more importantly, what does the government actually claim Lil Durk did? Because there's an important distinction we need to make immediately. Durk is accused. He has not been convicted in this case. Everything the government alleges still has to survive the courtroom. And Durk's lawyers have spent months attacking major parts of that case. They've sought dismissals. They've challenged evidence. They've fought over what the jury should be allowed to hear. And when other defendants wanted more time, Durk himself repeatedly pushed toward trial. So forget the social media theories for a minute. Forget the fan pages. Forget people declaring somebody guilty or innocent based on a headline. Let's look at how we actually got here. And to understand this case, we have to go back to Atlanta. November 6, 2020. King Von was becoming one of the defining voices of Chicago drill. He was closely associated with Lil Durk and Durk's Only the Family collective, better known as ODF. That night, Von was outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. Also present was another rapper, Quando Rondo. A confrontation broke out between the two groups. Surveillance footage captured portions of the chaos. During the confrontation, gunfire erupted. King Von was shot. He later died. He was 26. Authorities charged Timothy Lul Tim Leaks, an associate of Quando Rondo, with Von's killing. Leaks maintained that he acted in self-defense, and the murder charge was ultimately dropped in 2023. But Von's death immediately became much more than a criminal case. It became part of rap culture. Songs were analyzed. Lyrics were analyzed. Social media posts were analyzed. Fans picked sides. Rumors spread faster than verified information. And the tension surrounding Quando Rondo and people associated with ODF became something millions of people could watch unfold online. But federal prosecutors now allege something was happening away from the cameras. They claim that King Von's death eventually led to a plot for revenge. And almost 2 years after that Atlanta confrontation, Quando Rondo would find himself under gunfire in Los Angeles. This time, Quando survived. Someone beside him didn't. And according to federal prosecutors, that shooting is the event that eventually leads directly to Lil Durk. August 19, 2022. Quando Rondo is in Los Angeles. He and his cousin, Xavier Robinson, known as Lul PAB, are near a gas station when gunfire erupts. Robinson is killed. Quando survives. At the time, it's another shocking act of violence connected in the public imagination to an already notorious rap feud. But investigators keep working. And according to federal prosecutors, the Los Angeles shooting wasn't random. They allege it was a coordinated murder-for-hire plot. The government claims people associated with ODF traveled from Chicago to California, tracked Quando Rondo, and ultimately opened fire. And prosecutors allege Lil Durk was behind the operation. Again, those are allegations. Durk denies them. His lawyers have emphasized that the government does not accuse Durk of physically participating in the shooting itself. But federal conspiracy law doesn't require prosecutors to prove that Durk was standing there pulling a trigger. Their case is that he allegedly helped cause the operation to happen. And that distinction is everything. Because if you're imagining this trial as prosecutors trying to prove Durk was physically present at a Los Angeles shooting, that's not the case they're presenting. Instead, the battle is about alleged direction, intent, communication, money, travel, relationships, and whether the actions of other people can legally and factually be connected back to Durk. Then, in October 2024, everything becomes public. 5 men are charged in connection with the alleged plot, and federal authorities move against Durk. He is arrested in Florida. Prosecutors allege that around the time of his arrest, Durk had booked international flights. His defense has disputed the government's characterization of his travel and has fought unsuccessfully for his release while awaiting trial. And from there, the case begins expanding. Discovery becomes enormous. Court filings describe hundreds of gigabytes of material, audio and video recordings, surveillance footage, thousands upon thousands of pages, reports, photographs, witness statements, medical records, digital evidence. This is one reason the trial has taken so long to arrive. Durk has remained in federal custody while dates moved, and moved again. At various points, other defendants and prosecutors argued that the sheer complexity of the case required additional preparation. Durk objected to some of those delays. That's an important detail, because while the internet sometimes talks about criminal defendants as if delay automatically benefits them, Durk's attorneys have repeatedly asserted his speedy trial rights and pushed back against postponements. Meanwhile, they were attacking the government's case from another direction. They wanted more specifics. Durk's attorneys argued that prosecutors were accusing him of directing major actions without adequately identifying exactly when, where, and how those alleged directions were given. Essentially, if you're accusing our client of ordering this, show us precisely what you're claiming he said or did. The defense sought dismissal or more detailed disclosure, and then the case became even more complicated, because prosecutors didn't simply stick with the original theory. New allegations and additional counts entered the picture. Racketeering allegations connected to conduct in other cities threatened to dramatically broaden what jurors could potentially hear. Durk's attorneys responded with another major demand: separate these cases. Don't let a jury deciding the Los Angeles murder-for-hire allegations hear a giant collection of other accusations and assume everything must be connected. And in July 2026, the defense scored a significant victory. Prosecutors apparently intend to connect the artistic material to testimony from someone they say has direct knowledge relevant to the alleged conspiracy. That changes the evidentiary argument. The question becomes less: can prosecutors use scary rap lyrics against somebody? And more, can a witness establish a factual connection between this particular piece of media and the alleged events? The defense will get its opportunity to attack that connection. Who is this witness? Why are they cooperating? What do they personally know? What have they been promised, if anything? Did their story change? Can it be independently verified? Those are exactly the kinds of questions that can make cooperating witnesses incredibly powerful, or completely destroy their credibility. And prosecutors reportedly have far more than one witness prepared. Public reporting around the case has indicated the government could call roughly 36 witnesses. That's where this trial could become unpredictable, because filings tell us what attorneys expect to prove. Witnesses tell us what survives cross-examination. And after nearly 2 years of motions, delays, new indictments, challenges, and arguments over evidence, the theoretical case is about to collide with the real one. If you're enjoying this breakdown, hit subscribe to HyperRealHoodStories, because once testimony begins, we're going to separate what witnesses actually say in court from what social media claims they said. And believe me, those are probably going to become two very different things. There's another reason this case deserves attention beyond Lil Durk himself. It sits at the collision point of two completely different worlds. Hip-hop culture moves through implication, references, lyrics, affiliations, Instagram posts, who follows who unfollows who appears in a video, who gets mentioned in a song. Fans can build an entire theory from 3 lines and a deleted story. A federal courtroom works differently. The government has to prove criminal charges beyond a reasonable doubt. And Durk's attorneys don't have to prove every alternative theory imaginable. They have to create reasonable doubt about the government's case. That means some of the material people have argued about online for years may turn out to be extremely important, and some of it may turn out to mean almost nothing. That's why the witnesses matter. That's why the digital evidence matters. That's why the judge's rulings about what jurors can and cannot see matter. And it's why the defense has fought so aggressively over the shape of this prosecution before the jury even hears the case. Durk's legal team has pursued dismissal arguments. They've challenged the specificity of the allegations. They've fought over evidence obtained by investigators. They've resisted attempts to broaden the trial. They've sought to separate newer allegations. And they've challenged the government's attempts to use music as evidence. At the same time, prosecutors have continued building toward a case they say connects Durk to an alleged revenge plot following King Von's death. Two narratives are about to enter the same courtroom. The government's narrative. King Von is killed in Atlanta. A desire for retaliation follows. People associated with OEF allegedly travel to Los Angeles. Quando Rondo is tracked. Gunman attack. Xavier Robinson is killed. And prosecutors allege the operation traces back to Durk. Then there's the defense narrative. Prosecutors are trying to connect Durk to actions carried out by other people using associations, ambiguous communications, and evidence that the defense argues does not prove he ordered a murder. Those narratives cannot both win. And the most interesting evidence may be evidence we haven't even seen yet. What will the cooperating witnesses actually say? What communications will prosecutors show the jury? What context will the defense provide? How much of the government's story depends on people who have their own criminal exposure? How much can be independently corroborated? And what happens when Durk's lawyers begin cross-examining those witnesses? That's the part of a federal trial that can't be predicted from an indictment. An indictment only tells you what prosecutors allege. A trial forces them to prove it. And Lil Durk enters that process with an enormous amount at stake. This isn't a rap beef being decided by streams. There isn't a diss track that ends this. There isn't an Instagram post that makes it disappear. It's the federal government versus Durk Banks. And after almost 2 years of legal warfare, the public is finally about to see much more of the evidence behind one of the biggest criminal cases involving a major rapper in years. Whatever happens, there's something worth remembering as this trial explodes across social media. An allegation isn't a conviction. A lyric isn't automatically a confession. A cooperating witness isn't automatically telling the truth. And being famous doesn't make someone automatically innocent either. Evidence has to be tested. Witnesses have to be challenged. The government has to meet its burden. And the jury has to decide. So I want to know what you think. Do you believe prosecutors are going to be able to connect Lil Durk directly to the alleged murder-for-hire conspiracy? Or do you think the government's case falls apart once the witnesses face cross-examination? Drop your prediction below. And subscribe to HyperRealHoodStories, because this is one story we're absolutely coming back to when the testimony starts. The rap world has spent years debating what happened. Now, the federal government has to prove it.